This will hopefully do.
Oh, your new work coat should be able to see me.
It keeps me warm.
You just filled his coat.
This is the first one I got. No, he had another one. So, let me just make sure everybody can see. Because I have to send this to the other 4 that are normally here. Okay, so the solar plexus, where our creativity sits. The color for the solar plexus is yellow. It sits in the right at the stomach area. So all the digestive tract, all of that runs into it as well. Our self-confidence also sits there too. So you said you did a little bit of homework?
I did some homework, so yeah, read 5 of them, right? No,
There's 7.
7.
Uh-huh.
That's right. 7.
Did you go through all of them, or?
Yeah, it was something I just found online, and I just wanted basic explanation to start with of what the different chakras were, and so I said, okay, and the colors, because then I went, okay, see, I didn't see your post last week about wear orange, because I didn't look, I just go, I know I have yoga, and I didn't look. Today I looked and seen it said wear yellow. But last week I didn't know, and I went, do I have an orange shirt either? I said, I'm kind of into earthy colors, so I don't have oranges and yellows.
Yeah, well, we're probably starting to get into the colors after this one that most people would wear. Like the heart is pink and green, the throat's blue, the third eye is a light purple, and then your crown is white or dark purple.
Yes.
So once we get up to the heart and move
very
up,
warmer colors.
most of those colors are more seen, more than the red, orange, and yellow. So
I could have came up with maybe something a little bit red, but yeah, everything I own is either purple or brown or dark colors. So,
and that's okay too. Okay, we'll start with the top of the head and make that big circle, stretching all the way around. And if I sound stuffy, I promise it's just my sinuses. I'm not sick.
it's okay. Alan's been coughing for 2 days, and I can't figure out why. But he doesn't sound sick. He just. And I'm wondering if it's the pollution in the air. It's just disturbing his throat.
It seems like with the weather change, like just the warmer temps, and around the other way when you're ready, it's really pushed like the pollen, just everything.
Well, and
it
he's
seems like
super sensitive to smells and things in the air. I drive me nuts because I have smelly stuff all around me all the time.
Yeah.
I like that, but he doesn't like it. I try to keep all those things. The closest thing I can get is my perfume. Anything that other than that, he's like, what's that smell? What's that smell?
Then move down to the shoulders and rotate them. Make those big circles. Make sure you're getting in the joints and the ligaments as you're moving around in both directions. Then I'm going to move to the wrist and rotate them. It's obviously going to move the elbows too. Both directions. Stretch the fingers. And then we'll stretch forward. You don't have to come down if you don't want to. You can stretch.
I go as far as I can go.
I do the same thing. When I go lower, it just seems to stretch my back more. And then I'm going to have us come back to center and just come to the side and stretch up. And when you stretch up, I really want to get in between those ribs.
Okay.
I want to open that solar plexus up. And then make a big circle with the arm. When you're ready, go in the opposite direction. You're going to keep that balance. to center, and I'm gonna have us clasp our hands together and just stretch back, but come forward again. And then come up and go back. And as you open up in the heart, open up in that solar plexus too. And then back to center when you're ready, and we're going to go to that opposite side. And stretch up. And make that big circle again. Now let's come back up to center. And then straighten the legs since we're both crisscross. And then out into a V. Rotate the ankles. And stretch the toes. And then I want to bend the knees. Bring the feet together. And then straighten out. And then one more time out into V. Bend the knees. Feet together. And then straighten. And one more time. Into a V with the legs. Bend the knees. Feet together. And then straighten out. Nice. Here I'm going to have us bend both knees, but I'm going to lay one down. And then I'm just going to twist to one side. And then back to center when you're ready, and twist to that opposite side. Back to center, and then we're going to take that foot and step it over the knee. And then twist again to that first side. Back to center and twist to the opposite side. And then I'm going to have you straighten that bottom leg out. And then we're going to twist again back to that first side. Back to center, and then twist to the opposite side. Nice. And then back to center, straighten the legs and stretch forward. Come back up to center, and then we're going to go to that opposite side. So we'll bend both of the knees, lay that one down, and we'll leave the foot forward. And then we're just going to twist to one side. And then back to center and twist to that opposite side. Back to center, we'll take the foot and step it over the knee again, or just bring it over the knee too. If that feels better, you can rest the foot on the knee also. Obviously, if you bring it down and leave it up, it's going to give you more of a stretch. And twist again. Back to center and twist to the opposite side. I know it probably feels like a lot of twisting, but we're working that solar plexus. We're forcing it to open up, basically. And then we're going to come back to center and straighten that bottom leg out. And then we're going to twist to that first side again. Back to center when you're ready, and twist back to that other side. Nice. Nice, and then back to center, and you can straighten out the legs and stretch forward again. And come back up to center. And then from here, let's bring the knees up and then lay them to one side. And then I want to walk the hands up and over, so we're on hands and knees. Then on hands and knees, I want to cat, so really arch that back. I'm really pushing that belly button towards the spine. And on that cow, I really want to push the stomach down towards that mat. And back and forth. Continue to breathe as you're moving. And you might hold the pose. That's fine. And then from here, I want to take one hand and I want to bring it through the arm. And then unthread that arm when you're ready, and we're going to go to that opposite side. Back to center when you're ready, and ease yourself into child's pose. That's going to give a break on those knees. You can gently sway the hips side to side. If you do allow the top of the body to move with the hips. When you're ready, come back up into hands and knees. We're going to thread through on that first side, but this arm that's down and planted, I want you to bring it up towards the ceiling. And then plant that hand back down on the mat like you need to. Unthread that arm, and then we're going to thread the other arm through. Get centered, and then raise that other arm up. And then we're going to come back into hands and knees. In here, I just want to take the legs, and I'm going to take one, bring it up to the chest, and then straight out back behind you. And then back into the chest and down, and we're going to do the other side. Take that knee into the chest, and then straight out behind you. And then bring it back into the knee when you're ready, and back down, hands and knees. We're going to walk the hands to the knees and then back towards the feet, and we'll come up into squat. Nice. So from squat, you might have to move up a little bit on your mat, just because I don't want you to hit in the back. So just walk up a little bit. Yep. There you go. I just don't want you to hit your back on the couch. Okay, from here, that squat, I want to forward fold. So all the way over.
Are we hands on the floor or hands up?
Hands on the floor. So that forward fold, all the way over. Yep, and then that half fold, so just at the waist, so you're releasing the hands now. And coming up halfway. Just remember not to lock those knees. And then up into standing. Nice. And then we're going to make a half circle, bringing the hands together above the head, down to the heart center. And we're just going to twist to one side. Back to center and twist to the opposite side. and then back to center. And I'm gonna bring the arms out to the side. And I wanna step 1 foot forward and brace that back foot. So now you're in warrior. Bring those hands down in by the foot, and now you're in that forward lunge. From forward lunge, I want to take that back foot, step it forward. Now we're in that forward fold. I want to come halfway up, and the knees still bent, the arms up, so you're in chair. Nice. And then stand all the way up. We're going to take those arms back out to the side. And now we're going to step forward with that opposite foot. Nice. And then bring the arms up. Nice. Bring them back out to warrior. Good. Then bring the hands down so we're back in that lunge. Take the forward foot and step it back. Now you're in down dog. You can pump the ankles if you want. Walk the hands to the feet. You're back in that forward fold. Forward fold and a half fold. Half fold into standing. We'll make that big circle again, bringing our hands together down to our heart center and twist to one side. Back to center into the other side. And back to center. We're going to bring the arms back out to the side. And then bring them halfway in, bend the knees, you're back in chair. I'm going to take the hands and bring them down so we're back in that forward fold. Walk the hands to the front of the mat, the feet to the back of the mat. You're back in that down dog. From down dog, I want to go plank. From plank, that half push up, back up into plank, back into that down dog. Down dog, back into plank, back into that half push up, back up into plank, back into the down dog. You can pump the ankles if you need to. And one more time from down dog into plank, down into that half push up. Now come all the way down and then up into cobra. Easy down. Mom. And then all the way down and stretch forward. Come all the way down. No, I want you all the way down. And then, yeah, I just didn't want to run into you as I stretched forward. There you go. And then I want to come up to the forearms. So we're in that upward facing dog. Now I want to take the knees and bend them up and bring them up to about the width of your mat. Be careful though, because now you're going to take the other side and bring it to the side. So now you're in frog. And it probably feels really awkward. So just be gentle. Pay attention while you're in the pose. Where are you holding tension?
Try and release that tension, and you might have to adjust, that's fine. But release that tension in those areas so that there's not so much pressure. And when you need to, bring the feet together, and then you're in a wide-legged. Arch yourself back, and now you're in wide-legged child's pose. We're gonna come back up into the hands and knees. And down into those forearms. Bring the feet out so you're back in that frog. And then tilt yourself forward. Bring the feet back together. And then bring the back and the arms forward so you're in that wide-legged child's pose again. From here, come back up into hands and knees. Bring the knees back in so that they're centered. And then I want a cat and cow again. And then when you're ready, ease yourself back into child's pose. From here, I'll have us come back up into hands and knees, down into the forearms, and then plant the side of the head on the mat. You might have to bring the arms out further, and that's okay. You might even have to stretch the feet out a little bit. And then plant the forehead on the mat. And then over to the opposite side. Back up to center. Bring the forearms back to center. Hands together. And then walk the hands up to the knees. Get onto the toes. And then come back into squat. And gently come back into sitting. Or however is comfortable to sit for you. And then from here, I'm going to have us bend one knee, step it over again. We're going to twist to one side. Back to center and twist to the opposite side. Back to center, and then I want to bend that knee in. Good. So we're still stepping over the knee. Twist to that first side again. Back to center into the opposite side. Back to center. Now we're going to step over the knee, leave it forward. Twist to that first side again. Back to center, and then over to the other side. And then center. Straighten out both legs, stretch forward. Come back up, and then we're going to go to the opposite side. So step over,
to center, and then twist to the opposite side. Back to center. Then we're going to bend that knee. We're still stepped over the knee though. And we're going to twist back to that first side. Back to center and then over to the opposite side. Back to center, we're going to take the foot and step it over the knee, but leave it planted. Twist back to that first side. Come back to center and over to the opposite side. And back to center, straighten the legs, clasp the hands behind us and stretch back. And then plant the hands on the mat and still stretch back. Come back up into sitting and rotate the arms halfway out into goddess. Twist to one side. Back to center and come forward. Back up and go back. And back up to the opposite side. And back to center, release. I'm going to have you come to the front of your mat and lie back. Keeping the knees back, arms supported on the mat, raise up into supported bridge. If you want to go all the way up into the hands and feet, all the way up into bridge, you can, but you don't have to. Remember to keep breathing. Come down when you're ready. I want to take the knees and just sway them to one side, leaving the top of the body flat towards on the mat. Back to center and take the knees over to the opposite side. Back to center. I want to bring the knees into the chest. Grasping onto the calves and gently roll side to side. You don't have to go all the way over onto the side. And let the head roll with the body so that you're massaging the back of the head too. When you're ready, release the legs. Feet still planted on the mat, knees bent, and back up into supported bridge. Back down when you're ready, knees back into chest, sway them to one side or the other. Back into center and going to the opposite side. Back into center, plant the feet on the mat again, knees bent, and raise up in supported bridge one last time. And then inch yourself back so that you're straight on your mat. Laying in that Shavasana.
I'm gonna take one leg, bend the knee, step it over the leg that's laying down, and gently push that knee down towards the mat or floor. Try to leave the upper part of the body flat. And if you need to roll with it, that's fine too. When you're ready, come back to center. Knee is in the chest. Straighten that leg out, and then we'll go to the opposite side. Bend that knee, step it over the leg that's laying down, and then gently push the knee down towards the floor. Rolling back into center, and then straightening the legs. And then I'm gonna have you go to that first side one more time. I want each side done a couple of times. Just checking the time. Remember to keep breathing as you're moving. And move at your pace. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Thank you.